Hi folks, welcome back to an episode of the Road Trip series. It's me, Dr. Benji FM, and since we last met then in our 4-2 victory, our very exciting 4-2 victory, actually did we lose 1-0? We lost 1-0, didn't we, to Leverkusen? Sorry, it was Arsenal then Leverkusen. Things have gone mixed, I think would be the right answer to that question. We beat Cologne 2-1 in the German Cup. We don't now play that until around March, and we play Stuttgart, ironically enough, in that game, so that might be something for the future. We then got a 3-1 win over Schalke, really good win, 3-1 as it was. Gerald, Nilend and Jovic with the goals. We then took that form very successfully into the game against Arsenal, where they completely turned us over. A really early own goal set us back a little bit, and then Raphael Vincent scored two very good goals. Obviously we saw him last episode. He's not bad. 25th. Oh dearie me, he's a difficult player to play against, let's put it that way. We then bounced back though really well. A 5-0 win over Nuremberg, a Jovic hat-trick and a Birchtold double saw us come through that game very easily. Didn't have much possession in the game, but did have a lot of shots, and obviously scoring 5 goals ain't too bad. I think they have a lot of kickoffs. And then finally, we wrap things up with Dresden. Now, I was going to show you the Dresden game with the Will game in the Champions League, but Bayern Munich was certainly a game which is a little bit more interesting. If you take a look at the league table, you can see Bayern 2 points ahead at this point in time. We've drawn one where they won one. That's the only difference in the league table so far. So I think that'll be a far more interesting game to bring you. So that'll be the climax of today's episode. And we got a 3-3 then against Dresden. We were a bit lucky. Moncuro scored in the 91st minute. I'll show you it in 2 dimensions just so you can see it. So if we go to the last minute winner, then Birchtold with the corner, clears it, and Moncuro smashes it back in to get us the 3-3. Very late doors in injury time as well, so it was worth having. Seegert was still playing for Dresden, as is Yannick Hein, Hasbilic as well, that a player that we sold, of course. Fatih Dink's still there. Benedikt Gimber, a player we sold from Stuttgart to Dresden, and there's a few other names in there as well. Benitez is there. Bart's still on the bench, loving life, the Polish wonder beast. 24 now, isn't really developing anymore. So that brings us to today, where we play the Swiss side, Will, in the Champions League. Obviously, after that defeat to Arsenal, we've been rocked a little bit. Still top of the table, just about though, both on 9 points. Obviously, we beat Arsenal, they beat us, so it's now very tight between the two of us. And Will and Olympic Lyon are a little bit further behind. Obviously, if we get a point today, that will secure our progression through to the last 16 of the Champions League. So that's the objective. Let's introduce you to the team. So the team for today's game, and you can see the tactical familiarity, we'll get that word out eventually, is looking really good now. They all seem very familiar with what we're doing, and Chimenzi will be in goal, then Silva, Nick and Nalend will be at the back. We've got Insigne in front with Paslak on the right hand side. Birchtold as the advanced playmaker with Khalifa Kalafat on the left hand side, just Gerald in behind Jovic, and Ivan as a winger on that right hand side. A few people suggesting that we change him up and maybe potentially play him as an inside forward. I've tried that for a couple of games and it didn't really work. We tried it against Arsenal and it didn't work. So what we're going to do instead, last episode, you may remember, Paslak and Ivan were very close together, almost too much so. So we're just going to change Paslak from an attacking wing player to a support wing player. So they're not getting over each other too much now. It's a little bit more separated. But you can see, average ratings this season are really high. Form is very good. I think Khalifa Kalafat is probably the star of the show so far. Really good average rating, a 7.97 in the league for the games he's played. And in continental competitions, he's doing okay as well. So yeah, we'll see how he gets on. He's in good form. Let's say we do then. Let's take him on. Will we win? Who will win? Who will win? Will win? We don't know. Maybe I will win. I'm confusing myself here. Now, I don't know too much about their team, so we'll have a little gander through some of their players. It's always interesting to see what other teams are up to. They've got a player called Hospital. Oh man, the fun I could have had with that. Mospital, we could have called him. Decent attacking midfielder. I mean, again, a player that we should be beating. We actually scouted him once. That must have been a while ago. They've also got Michael Prochazka, which just sounds good. Physically very good, technically lacking. So they've got a few good players, but nothing that we should be too afraid of. All right, team talk-wise, we're going to get passionate. I have faith in you. Get out there and make the difference, and don't do anything else. Just leave it as it is. That's pretty good. So then we're, of course, in the yellow, shooting from left to right. Arsenal will be looking to oust us from their top position. So we're going to have to try and get our win against Will today. We'll keep an eye on the table then at the top. And I'm also going to bring up the latest scores to see what else happens around Europe. If we get to the knockout stages, it's worth knowing what threats are out there as well, as they drive forward with it. First chance of the game. Will summarily pressure, and Hospital has put it in the back of the net. I mean, he sounds like a hospital. He's actually an hospital, and Arsenal leading as well means that this is going to get a little bit tense in our final game. We're going to have to get a result against Lyon if it stays like this. Silva with a very average clearance, you have to say. It's not back into the middle, and Hospital just diverts it into the back of the net. That's annoying. The highlight straight after the goal, though. and you know how that ends. Ivan, right side then, driving forward with it, ball towards Luka Jovic, cleared, out to Insigne, over to Gerald, into Luka Jovic, who I've got to say looked offside, and has been given, I think, offside. You don't see offsides anywhere near as much in this year's Football Manager. I mean, think about the series this time round. How many offside goals have we really seen? 1 or 2? No, maybe not even that. I honestly don't remember many offside goals. It's something that they seem to have cut out of Football Manager 2017. As a sell of this, we might have another chance. Berchtold into Insigne. He's got options left and right. Decides to go towards his left-hand side. Insigne with a shot. Not very good at all. And it goes behind for a goal kick then. 1-0. 25 minutes gone. We need to bounce back somehow. I mean, I kind of trust the team we've got out there to do the job. Khalifa Klaffer are struggling for fitness a little bit. We've got players on the bench that we can bring on if needs be. But, oh, and Leon have scored. So they've equaled things. Of course, if we win and Arsenal drop points to Leon, that's really good for us. But in this game so far, half-time, we're not looking that good. Keep going out there. You can still come out with a win. They seem relatively pleased with that, not overly pleased. It's the question mark. Do we make any changes? Of course, we've got players there that we can bring on. Quimby's there. Luis is there. Moncuro could come on as well. So far, we're not seeing anything too great. We'll keep faith with Jovic for now. Of course, we've also got Biada that could come on as well. Nicolas Biada, who youngster, 20-year-old German, not seen too much of him, but could be an impact off the bench today. We'll keep an eye on that. Okay, I'm going to give him 20 minutes to make an impact. And well, we've started very, very fast. Juice Gerald out towards Paslak. Could there be an early chance in this first half, or second half? Sorry, first moment of the second half. That's what I'm getting at. As actually, in fact, they're going to bring it away. Butch Butt comes forward with it, but he's tackled, and well, the highlight sort of stopped and then continued. We're sort of a minute into the second half. Just Gerald drives forward, shot on goal. Horath with a good save. And yeah, right, still 1-0. Corner kick. Just Gerald to put it in. The movement in the box is rapid, and it's not the greatest corner. But Luka Jovic back on it. Out towards Paslak. He might have a strike on goal. Tries to pull it back across, and it's cleared. Nice pressure, though. Good early pressure in the second half. Hopefully try and ramp up the tempo a little bit. We'll go more attacking. Away from home. I mean, based on what's happening in Lyon right now, we really do need to at least make sure we don't lose the game. Again, I said I'll give them 20 minutes, so they've got until sort of the 65 mark to make an impact. And we're seeing not that much. It's not been Luka Jovic's game. He's a little bit streaky in that respect. Some games he'll score a hat-trick, some games he just won't score. Biada is going to come on then up front instead of Jovic. We're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to bring Moncuro in behind him as well. And triple change, we're also going to bring on Quimby in the middle for Berchtold. 3 substitutions to try and change this game. They've got 25 minutes to do it. I'm giving them plenty of time. And we kick things off with a corner kick. Played in by Paslak. Out to Biada, who plays it back out to Paslak. If you can get a ball into the middle, there's men free there for him. He hits the post and it's turned behind. Still 1-0 Will. They're doing well. Paslak, corner kick. Will it come to anything? Quimby gets up. It's cleared though. And Insigne back to Biada. Oh, and it's a great save, it turns out. Apparently he didn't mean to do that. Whatever it was, he didn't mean to do it. And Vincent scored for Arsenal. They've taken a 2-1 lead. Corner's played in. Again, comes to nothing. Is there going to be another chance in this game? Come on, we've got time. Free kick. Ivan puts it into Moncuro. Nicks at the back post. And oh my word, there's no way. He's offside. After saying before, we never see offside goals. This is 2 in 1 game. We'll assume it was offside. Oh no. Alright, 10 minutes left to go. We're going to come off flexible. We're going to go more highly structured. We're going to try and create that one chance out of something. In fact, actually, we're going to go slightly more direct as well with our play. We're not going to work it into the box. We're going to up the defence. We're going to up the tempo and the closing down and try and get that one chance in the back. Can we have it though? 3 minutes left to go. Injury time is upon us. The time is ticking down. This is not a good result for us on any level. I mean, there's one chance here to snatch a draw from the jaws of defeat. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. Khalifa Klaffer. And there it is, then. Well, with Bayern Munich coming up, that's disappointing. I mean, the team talk's gone well. But even so, if you take a look at the match stats, then, this is what I want to take a look at. Half chances, we had 4. We didn't create a single clear-cut chance. And admittedly, right, neither did they. But Hospital gets his goal. And it's not like, I mean, we saw it the first time, it's not a great goal. It's a poor clearance by Silva that leads to it. Not only is the clearance poor, he then travels out towards the ball, he's out of position, Hospital's unmarked essentially, and gets a free shot from close range. We should be doing more though, we should be creating more. We've had a lot of games recently. I think some of these guys probably getting a little bit tired, but at the same time, you'd expect us to do better. And another game we've had there without a clean sheet. I think we've had 1 clean sheet in our last 10 games. We need to try and figure out why. It could be a system issue. It could be a goalkeeper issue. I think it's still a little bit too early to tell. As Biada picks up an injury, he'll be out for a little bit as well. Not ideal. Not ideal for us to lose that game. It means the final game of the group stages is going to be a cracker, though, I must say. If we take a look at it, what it's going to be Lyon, and then following that will be a game against Stuttgart in the league. So that should be exciting. But a lot rests on that game now. As we've got Bayern Munich next, let's fast forward then and get to that game. All right, let's see if this is offside. We've got the news report come through that Jovic are not happy about the decision. As just Gerald plays it through then, at that point there, I think he's off, I've got to say. I mean, we may well be annoyed about it, but in my book, he's slightly off. It's a smart finish from him, left-footed. I mean, frustrating. I mean, that could have affected him. If he felt like he'd been unjustly not given a goal, then that could have been why he didn't play so well in the game. But, yeah, offside for me. So he hasn't got a leg to stand on. Luckily, he's got 2 legs to stand on, hence he's a footballer. Oh, Bayern coming up. This is pressure. Okay, few changes into this game. Englert comes back in and will play alongside Nick and Silva at the back. Insingi keeps his place as the deep line playmaker in a more defensive role. Tolga's going to come in on that left-hand side. I'm going to play him instead of Khalifa Khalifa, who didn't perform fantastically last game. Insigne, I've just noticed, by the way, has got really bad morale. I think he wanted a new contract, and I've given him the old cold shoulder, so he's miffed. Do we take him out in that case then? If he's not really mentally up for this, do we remove him and bring in a player like Florentino Luis, who is ready-made for this sort of position, this sort of game? I think we do. And singing out, we'll bring Luis in then. And the same issue is with Berchtold, who, again, I think wanted to leave, and I've kind of played the hardball act with him, and he's not happy about it. Again, there's a direct replacement in Holberg that we could bring into the centre. Very experienced for a big game against Bayern Munich. I think it's the smart move. So we're going to make a double change in there. Alongside Tolga, Jusjelad playing behind Jovic as ever, Ivan on that right-hand side, and Paslak in slightly deeper role. I'm debating whether to change it from flexible to fluid as well, to try and give us more phases of play in the attacking third. I don't think it's the most ridiculous idea. Admittedly, some of our players aren't sharp for this game, so playing a fluid system, hopefully we'll get that sharpness back quicker. They're involved in more phases of play. We'll see if that is the case. If it's not the case, Quimby will be on like nobody's business. Bayern Munich then going for a 4-4-2 formation. Coutinho playing on the left of the midfield 4. It's confusing that he's there, if I'm honest. David Alaba's there as well. Obviously 2 players that we are familiar with. Ivan Kovic looks... Oh, I wish I hadn't looked at him. And next to him, we've got Ricardo, who's... Oh, world-class striker, it says. Has he scored goals this season? 7 into... Okay. All right, let's get things underway then. We are, of course, in the yellow. They're in their red. Our famous kits on either side. And we'll see who comes out on top. Bayern Munich currently 2 points ahead after a disappointing Champions League result in midweek. It's time to bounce back with a win over our domestic rivals. First chance, Coutinho, free kick played in, headed clear. Coutinho back on it though, switches it all the way across, and I mean, it doesn't look as if it should have been that difficult to deal with. But Jan Bruic, I think you'd say it, with the goal. Chimenti, I question if he could have done more here. I guess we're about to find out then. Coutinho plays it across the box, and on the volley, I mean, that is some ridiculousness of a strike. Sorry, Chimenti, is everything okay there, mate? Is everything alright at home? What on earth have we just seen there? The ball's played in by Coutinho. Pause it, lower the replay speed, because I have to see this in slow motion. Bruic then, I mean, the volley to begin with, that is ridiculous on every level. But the goalkeeping from Chimenti, I don't know if he thinks it's going wide. At that point, he's looking at it like, well, is that going wide? And then he's just like, oh, no, it's not going wide. I better put my hands up, and it's too late. It's a goal. Flipping heck. Well, that's annoyed me. I'm miffed. That's the word I'd use. Okay, as half-time approaches, there doesn't look to be a breakthrough happening anytime soon. Again, Jovic not having the greatest of games, and why is that is the big question. He's in a strange patch of form, and we're certainly going to say I expect to see much better in the second half. This hasn't been good from us in this episode so far. Defeating the Champions League to a team which are considered lesser, and then I mean we're playing Bayern, which is again a tough game, right? They're top of the league for a reason. But if we don't win this game, we get closer to the teams below, and Bayern extend their lead, and that is the big problem: is that the gap is already emerging for Bayern Munich, and it'll be 5 points after 12 games. It's not an impossible thing to claw back, right? But this is Bayern Munich; they don't get stopped very easily. It's half an hour to go in the game. So far, we're seeing little to nothing. Fancy some radical change, anyone? Okay. So Luis is going to be further forward. So is Paslak. We're going to bring Ivan into the middle. We're going to bring Mukura on to play behind it with Jovic. Gerald next to him. Quimby's on in the middle for Luis, who's probably a little bit more match fit. And then we're also going to bring Insigne on next to him. Switch those 2 round. Jobs are good, and let's play. Our midfield really isn't defensive enough. We're going to see if this works. It's like an inverted Salford we've got going on right now. We're also going to go attacking for the final 20 minutes. Can we find ourselves the goal that will make all of the difference? It doesn't look good, does it? I mean, time has ticked all the way down Instruction-wise, we're gonna have to go more direct again. It didn't really work last time. We'll work it into the box though. That's worked before, so we'll try that again. We've got players in and around Jovic. We may have a chance then. Here we are then. Insigne into Quimby, onto Mankuro on the edge of the box. Does he get a chance? Pass like shot on goal. That's the first highlight we've seen from us in this game. And it is weak. I mean, there's been no highlights other than their goal and that shot. And the time, my friends, as ticks by, it's over. It is over. I wish we'd played the Dresden game now instead. It's such a disappointing result. 1-0 away at Bayern Munich. They've done a job on us. I'm not happy with the result at all. They seem fired up. Morale is in a strange situation right now. It's not the best. We might have to have a little team meeting. We'll do that before we go. Like, we're doing all right in our Champions League group. We're doing okay in the league. Like, we're second in the league, right? And our team don't seem overly happy, and I'm not sure why. All right, team meeting quickly. If we just take a look at them, let's look at this. The selection info. Morale isn't good in any stretch. We're going to have to try and up that. So what should we say then? We've been doing okay lately, but I know we can do better. Let's kick on and give the fans something to shout about. That's what I'd say. We're doing okay. I think that's fair enough. They seem pleased with that. I'm going to say that's the sort of overall reaction I was hoping for, though I respect to those that don't agree with me, but they seem to all agree with me. So there we are. A few disappointed faces, but that should be that. Like, morale now then. Lots of very goods, fairly goods. A few okays, a couple of poors in there as well. But that looks a lot better than it was beforehand. Hopefully that now then allows us to kick on. The run of games we've got coming up, Kaiserslautern, Wolfsburg, and then those two big games then against Lyon and our former club Stuttgart will be next episode. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please do leave a like. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and we love with care. Until next time, I'll see you again soon. Goodbye. And if this video hits 1,000 likes, we'll get a video up over the weekend as well. If not, I will see you on Monday. Goodbye.